Hello everyone and welcome to another live coding show of CodeTap. This is about anything related to a web page. So, if you're a client and you're looking for somebody to actually build your web page and you have lots of questions and not so many answers, well, definitely you can join in either by calling or by asking a question in the chat. Otherwise, if you're willing to start your web developer career, if you're into building websites, or at least you're curious, or maybe you're passionate about it, you can also drop any question in the field in the chat or call in. So if you want to call in, you can do that from inside the UK at 03333034654, and if you're from the outside of the UK, it's plus 443333034654. So I'm your host Marian, and today, unless somebody starts calling and we'll chat about their questions, our subject for today is what is the difference between a web designer and a web developer? Is there a difference? What does one do and what does the other one do as well? So let's talk about that. Firstly, let's see, Andre, is there anybody on the chat so far? Is there anybody saying anything? Okay. Hello, Bogdan. How are you today? So yeah, what is the difference between a web developer and a web designer, or a web designer and a web developer? So basically, the web designer is definitely a different person than a web developer. Sometimes it can be the very same person. However, the more professional you become, the more you tend to pick one or the other. So related to what a web designer does and what a web developer does. Web designer usually spends his time creating, like an artist, the way a website should look graphically, like the colors of a button, shapes, is it rounded, does it have rounded corner, does it have borders. Sometimes they also do placement in the web page. So basically, they design the look and feel of a website. They usually do that using software like Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and many others. Maybe GIMP on the Mac, on the Linux side. Yeah, I can see it. Not sure why. CodeTap 02 is busy uploading. Uploading what? Seems to be an area where the light just goes off. Let me give me a moment. I think I should be able to start streaming back again. And let me know if you start receiving signal. Okay. By the way, when you're setting the live stream, do you check the low latency one? There's an option, low latency. Anyway, I'm just let's figure this out at home, because that reduces the lag from you to the user, to the end viewer. So anyway, as I was saying, you can definitely call in on 03333034654. It's a normal number. There's nothing fancy about it. Normal rate number. If you got unlimited minutes, then it doesn't cost you anything. Or from outside the UK, it's plus 443333034654. And ask any question related to coding, to building web pages and websites and web apps and so on. So as I was saying, A web designer usually works with graphical softwares like Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, and Sketch, and so many others out there to produce what we call a layout or an interface about how the website should look like or the web app. And after the design is done, usually there is a process of signing where the client agrees if he's happy with the design or not. And assuming that everything passed and the client is happy, then those designs end up in front of a web developer. And the web developer is responsible for taking those designs and implementing them in the actual website with the functionality that's necessary as well. So if you have like a rounded button that's of color red, well, the web developer will be responsible to create a button tag, then maybe attach a class to it or not, and then start creating some CSS files. And then if that button is part of a form, he needs to make sure maybe that the button, if it's a submit button, maybe the button is disabled by default. And you cannot submit that form by clicking that button unless you start filling in and maybe passing some rules, like the name needs to be at least 2 characters long, and you need to have a valid email address and so on. So that's the job of a web developer. Again, there can be web developer and web designer can be one and the same person. However, the more you become either a professional web designer or a professional web developer, you tend to favor one over the other. Because in both fields there is a lot to learn and a lot to master, and I'm not sure if there are so many people that would do both at the same time, because you also have a life and you want to live it. So usually a web developer implements whatever a web designer does. That's the difference between one and another. Now, what's your opinion about this? Do you have a different opinion? Or is it now more, you have a better picture in your head what a web developer and what a web designer is? Do you have any questions? Just jump in the call. Do you have any questions, Andre? No? Okay, so let's talk a bit about our stuff, because it's kind of related to web development. Not directly, but indirectly it is related to web development. As we are creating courses about web development, and in the process of creating them, we have our own struggles. For example, the reason I requested of you the model of our audio interface was because I wanted to know if there is an input slot where the audio interface can receive signal from a different one. And we looked last night at that interface, a separate interface, DBX or something like that, where you could use different hardware effects on the sound that comes in. That one only has one input, by the way. It only has the input for one microphone. I've looked into it, and if you really want to attach 2 microphones, basically you get a cable that you can attach 2 XLR microphones, mic inputs into it, and they get that cable basically connects those 2 microphones into one cable and sends that signal. So that was I was wondering about how does this work. Can that 200 pounds sound amplifier or preamplifier be connected directly to the computer? That was a question of mine, and I've also addressed it on Amazon.co.uk. Maybe I'll get an answer at some point. I also need to do some research about it. And in the case that it only accepts one microphone, and that's the best scenario, and it's not wise to have two mic inputs, then we would use one of our NTG microphones with that, let's say, preamplifier, and then the other microphone will have it dedicated for our webcam. So far, so good, Andrei? So I looked at that preamplifier, and it kind of looks okay. I'm not sure now, because whoever demos it, they are, let's say, into the field of dealing with sound, and I'm pretty sure they have properly insulated rooms, or at least way better insulated rooms than ours. So on the setup that those guys were doing, it was sounding quite nice. You have a bit more control of cutting the extra noise that comes from the street or from different computer fans and so on. However, as I was saying, it's hard to tell if that will work the same for us. It's definitely giving you some more control over the sound, maybe like adding more bass to it or not. But I would definitely see that preamplifier as a better investment than the nice long camera that we've seen KHD demoing. So yeah. Other than that, I did send 7 CV resumes to my current client with a little bit of story about each of those students. So I did send it to my client, and we'll see what's happening. If they'll interview or test any of my students. That would be nice. So if any of your students are on, that's what I did today. I sent the CVs for Elena, for Razvan, for Laurențiu, Julian, Flavius, Carol, and Catalin. Yeah, I think those are all of them. So yeah, let's see. Maybe in the future, advertising us win 100 or 200 pounds, minimum 100 pounds, will pick some interest. Otherwise, we'll see about it. I do want to get some of our students on, dialing in and solving their challenges. However, I'll see about what's holding them back from actually doing this. So how was your day, Andrei? What did you do today? Well, I was at work, so having fun with my client. Any good research? Did you do any good research and new findings? Okay, let's have a look at that new banner. Okay. 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 I think I also made a picture of one yesterday that I've shown you, right? What I liked about it was that it was easy to read from it. So yeah. Live stream is gone again. Okay, so in a moment I should be able to get back. Okay, do let me know if the signal came back. Cool, cool. Mr. GoPro is starting to behave more or less properly. Now I don't mind the disconnection because it's not GoPro's fault that we got disconnected, but the fact that I've been able to reconnect twice without too much hassle gives me hope. Yeah. That's cool. So, if anybody is listening, you can definitely call in on 033 33 034 654 and ask questions about anything to building websites. If you want to build your own website using somebody else's services, you can ask him and I can help you out navigate this world. Otherwise, if you are a web developer or you want to become a web developer, do join in, ask your question. And this is me practicing speaking with the public, practicing my words, my English, and so on. I'm improving. And wonders what subjects we can address in the future, maybe with students or not. So, Andre, I believe we need to design a banner that it's clear from it that people can call in and ask any question related to web pages and building websites. Because yeah, you should do that every time we start our chat, our live show. However, at this point, I would expect the students to already know about it as well. My point was, when somebody watches or at least sees for a brief moment in front of him the live show, they should be able to instantly read more about it. So I think we need to display this info in the left side, and it needs to be in the first and second third of the left side. Because usually, when you hover over a movie, you might get some video controls popping up, which will be on top of the info that's presented in the lower third of the picture. So what we want is to display in the first third and second third our info, and it can be, from my opinion, it should be on the left side. Because on the right side we can put an image, well, we can put a frame where we can add the feed from the car. What do you think about this, Andrei? Did you understand me, Andrei? I was talking to you about the frame and that's good. It's okay. So anybody that's watching, remember, you can always ask questions, drop them in the chat, or you can call in on 03333034654. It's a normal number, so you can get directly in contact with me without any delay. Andrei, did you understand what that preamplifier or microphone booster or whatever it's called does? It has a denoiser, a deesser, or it has so many bells. Yeah, noise gate and yeah. Yeah, but ours is not like that. Ours is just an adapter, more or less, from that converts that sound into digital for computer. It also has phantom power, and it also has a bit of a boost. We can boost the sound, or at least cut it, but that's it. It's nothing else. Just sending converted sound to the computer. Yeah. So now, yeah. Okay, it's good. At least let them be online. How many on YouTube, by the way? Because YouTube is the place that I'm most interested in. There's a Model X in front of me. Hey, I can see a Model X. It's a white one. It's the fourth car in front of me. So if you count them, you should be able to see it. Yeah, there's a bus nearby. By the way, did you use that FOV thing? Did you save the setting with FOV? Okay. It's okay. It's okay. So what is okay? So we are upload. I'm uploading to you and you to YouTube. Yeah, that's what it is. Hmm. I think there was a way. As far as I remember, there was a way for you to stream directly to YouTube and then have somebody else join in. But I don't know exactly how to do that. Maybe you can have a look into it. So you can stream to YouTube and have somebody else join in the stream, so then you can display a picture of somebody else. I don't know how it's done, but I think there was an option. Then you'd have less delays. But what matters is the sound. So the sound is okay so far. Is Graziella around? Is Graziella around? How's it going? Okay. So there might be some good news for you. Yeah. In the near future, I might switch the Mac for my Windows, and I might, well, I might give it to you. So let's see about it. Let's see about it. Then I'll no longer have to convert so much. I'll be able to have my work on only one laptop, and that's it. Actually, a good one as well. So, yeah. Let me see what's what's what and how soon can I make that change. Yeah. And I was asking them why do I need to work from a Mac, and they said, well, you don't need to. But then I said, well, you told me you prefer Mac, so somehow he said, well, I'm not sure what. I'm just saying, like, recently he said, like, it's my preference, but to me the message got us it's their preference to use Mac. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just saying. So now that means that I need to finish the very first tutorial. Do you remember about it? Because that tutorial has an idea that, well, we start with a fresh PC, right? So nothing is installed on it. So I need to record that. So after that, I don't need to reset the computer again. Exactly. Uh, by the way, there's gonna be a little change, a small change into the way I'll be recording that tutorial, which might uh, allow me to do whatever, because then you won't need computer. You just not need it. However, you need a connection to the web. So that's all. And everything else will happen in the browser. What is it for that? Grazie. Hello. I can barely understand anything you're saying. Yeah, yeah. I'm on the street we used to live on, or at least in that area. Any questions on the web? No questions. That's cool. Which means we are getting better and better at actually doing this. It's okay. The As I said, the next time anybody wants anything that will be reduced or free, they'll have to be online on this live show. So if they aren't now, they will be in the future. Yeah. What are you referring to now, students, or? Well, don't worry about that, because any student that will want to also do the new courses will have to. Dun. Next to the place where we got married, Wandsworth Municipal Offices, the place where we got married. Not sure if you still remember it. Yeah, if you do it like the first day we met, it took you 6 years only to remember about it. Yeah. Anyway. Any plans for today, aside from doing the one-to-one with Valentin? I'm asking you if there are any plans. No, no, any plans for today when I get home? Yeah, that's what I was saying. Besides the one with Valentin. What's that on at 7 o'clock? Okay. You can send a message to Valentin telling him that he can join this call until I get home and start the other one. So we can have a quick preview of what his I don't know. No, there are 10 more minutes, Graziella. 10 more minutes is a lot. If he would join up now, we could have talked about what can I help him with. I did send a message to my current client, and I also copied you in that email with the small stories about our students and their CVs. And I still didn't send anything to Laurenți's client, and didn't send a message to that guy named Ben. Mm-hmm. So maybe we can do that at some point today as well. I did have the word with or spoke to Laurențiu, so I got a few updates from his side. What's his response from his client? I'm not extremely happy about his current deal, but it's not a bad one either. But basically, he got offered at some point £100 per day more, which is okay. It's a big jump anyway, but not reflecting his true skills or at least level. Again, he also needs to, I don't know, get more in touch with London and so on, maybe more than he currently is. So I'm not saying it's a bad deal, it's just it could be better. And let's see if we can set up that team or not. It depends now who answers first, my client, his client, or any other client. Yeah. Okay, that's even better. Tell Valentin to take his time and let us know when he's ready, because then it will be more or less the same for me. I could also uh, grab some food and whatever. Although I don't need to eat because I just ate my Huel meal. Huel, Huel, Huel. I don't know how you say it correctly, how you pronunciate it correctly, right? So, did you do any progress with Misha? So, you started, as far as I can see, you started one day and that's when you stopped. So, what's going on? I mean, you can also stop it, but just let me know you stopped it and that's it. I can take my mind off it. Because I'm pretty sure if there was any excitement, like, wow, what did I just do? Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I think that piece of code can become alive, get out of the computer screen, and eat her family. Right? Scared, right? Scared about her. She's doing Sudoku all day, and she's not scared about that. It's okay. That's a detail. You can still you're still able to type, right? So the thing is, I don't want anybody to do any more things that they don't want to related to this tutorial, because I'm already sick of this scenario where I'm trying to show somebody anything. So maybe she wants to be there and nothing more, but she won't be able to sell anything because I'm not going to allow it. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have asked about this because now it's a downside for me. We'll see about it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm nearby. That would be a nice idea. We can open the garage. Yeah, it was nice for everybody to join in or not to join in. So,